One of the reasons I've decided to come out and teach is to correct a fundamental misunderstanding that some spiritual teachers have around the idea that God created this universe and put himself here as you. Well, it's a little more nuanced than that. Keep in mind that it is true that we are one mind. You cannot ever truly separate from God, but there's layers to creation, and you did not create yourself. So what actually happened is you were created like God in heaven, because God could only create with love, and so he gave everything to you when he created you, and you were perfectly one with God for eternity. But one day you had a thought of separation. And so, because you have a very powerful mind, as you can imagine, you literally could make something unreal appear to be real if you wished. And so, you have the same creative capacity as God. However, the one who created you did not create this universe. What actually happened is that your single thought of separation created the feelings of guilt and terror as you tried to separate from what was your home. As you can imagine, it's like abandoning something good and trying to go somewhere else. Because basically you just had a thought of, what if I tried to go somewhere else and be something else and not here? And so that idea alone generated feelings of guilt. And as you tried to leave, it also created feelings of terror, because you were leaving love and eternity. When I say love, it's perfect love. And so those feelings don't feel very good to hold on to. This feeling of guilt, basically, that you were leaving what created you. And so you then had to put that feeling somewhere. And basically, it may sound shocking to you, but what birthed this whole universe is from both that thought of separation and the feelings of guilt. So, how does that work? Well, in truth, there's only one of you as the Son of God, but because you needed to put this feelings of guilt somewhere, you created all these characters and this whole universe, basically, in a dream, to put yourself, so that you can stop thinking that, you're the one with the guilt, or that you tried to separate. And so the basis of this dream and all the other dreams is around these feelings, even though it may not be totally apparent to you yet. Something I will explain more later on. But I needed to clarify that the true God has never left and is something you can return to as you awaken. And so this whole universe is actually the ego mind. The ego is not just the character you're playing, it's this whole universe. And so many teachers are still fooled by that, because basically it's almost like a kind of energy and thought system that was created through the separation, and you are now in that thought system. So it's not so easy to get out, because that whole thought system is trying to convince you that you're not the son of God, or that you are somehow literally God. Like, basically all kinds of ways to convince you to stay in the dream, and that the dream is, your best option, while forgetting what heaven or the true Father is.